Hi everyone and welcome. Today we are going to be doing a step-by-step detailed flip through of one of the most popular planners available today, the Hobonichi Cousin. And just a little note that throughout the video I'll be dropping in some footage here and there that I filmed from before I started using the planner so you can see what a fresh spread looks like. And if you're interested in anything you see in this video, I'll have the links down for you below. Okay, let's start with the basics. The Hobonichi Cousin is an A5 sized planner made by Hobonichi in Japan. It measures 5.8 inches wide and 8.3 inches tall. It's about 0.7 inches thick and 15.7 ounces or about 445 grams in weight. That's a little less than 1 pound. The planner comes in a cardboard soft cover and is also available in hardcover. I personally made my cousin a hardcover by adding a stronger cardboard to the front and the back, and then I covered it with this cute DIY plastic cover that I made. I also put some decor, I guess it's duct tape, on top of the cover, but just to show you like what the original cover looks like. It is pretty thick. It's a strong cardstock, and most people like just putting stickers on their cover or just leaving it bare and putting a plastic cover, a clear plastic cover on it. But I did this DIY custom cover because it's cute. So I will have a video on this DIY cover coming soon, so do subscribe if you'd like to see how to make your own covers. Okay. The Cousin has a total of 272 pages using 47 GSM Tomoe River paper. Now this paper is known for being fountain pen and highlighter marker friendly with very little to no bleed through, but I will note that the paper in the 2025, that's this one, did have some consistency issues, which look to be resolved in the 2026 planners. The planner comes in an English version and a Japanese version. I have the English version right here. Basically, each version has both Japanese and English text in all the spreads, but in the English version, there's more English text and the English font is larger than the Japanese font. And in the Japanese version, that's flipped. There's more Japanese text throughout the spreads and the Japanese font is larger than the English font. Okay, let's start our flip through. First, you get an outer flap of cream colored paper and then an intro page. It says Hobonichi Techo 2025. Techo means notebook in Japanese, and this is the Cousin version. Apparently it's called the Cousin because it's the larger version of the original A6 size Hobonichi Techo, which is this right here. It's like a little mini. It's like literally the cutest planner. This original A6 was released 8 years before the Cousin. The Cousin has monthly, daily, and weekly spreads, but the original A6 only has monthly and daily spreads. There's no weekly spreads in the original A6, but they are related, even though they're not quite the same, hence the name Cousin. Okay, moving on. Then the planner starts with year at a glance calendars. On the left, you have the year of the planner, in this case 2025. On the right, you have a smaller year at a glance for the year before, and then the year after your planner year. Next, you have a yearly index. The first 6 months are on 2 pages, and then the last 6 months of the year are on the next 2 pages. Each month gets its own column with the numbers and the days of each month on the left side of each column. Every Saturday is in a gray box, and the Sundays are red. You've got space on the top of every column with 3 check boxes and then space at the bottom to write anything you'd like. And this whole spread uses 3.7 millimeter grid paper. See that up close, which is the same size grid used throughout the planner. And if you're not familiar with grid paper, here's a quick comparison. This is your typical 7 millimeter lined journal. You can see that. Then you have your 5 millimeter grid. This is a Rhodia notepad. You can compare that with the 7 millimeter. Bring that to the screen. Then here's the 3.7 millimeters of the Hobonichi Cousin. You can see that a little bit. It's a little hard to see in the screen, but I'll try to do that as best as possible. Okay, there you go. So you can see the difference. It's definitely a small grid, but in my experience, once you use it for a while, you get used to it pretty quickly, and I personally appreciate having the guidelines for writing evenly. And for the yearly index section here, the grid really allows you to do anything you'd like. You can do daily or weekly habit trackers here. You can write down important dates and birthdays. You can do memory keeping of special days. You can do monthly targets up here, your goals, your monthly highlights. You can doodle or draw anything you'd like on the bottom. It's very customizable. Okay, after the yearly index, you get the monthly spread section, which starts with the December before your planner year. So this is December 2024 for a 2025 planner. And I didn't have any use for the December before I started the planner, so I just used it as my swatch page. Okay, you get 2 pages per month for all the months of the year, and each monthly spread has the same 3.7 millimeter grid. There's space on the left here, as well as on the bottom to write notes. Each day of the month has a blank header space and then a grid section for your notes. The Saturday headers are in gray, and the Sunday headers are in red. You also get moon phases for all the monthly spreads. And in the Japanese version, you get the Japanese holidays in the monthly spreads, but no holidays in the English version. Then at the end of the monthly spreads section, you have 3 bonus months for the next year: January, February, and March. In this case for next year, which is 2026. So that's a nice little bonus for planning for the next year. Okay, after the monthly section, you get the weekly spreads starting from the first week of January of your planner year. These are Monday start vertical weekly spreads. The Hobonichi Cousin only comes in vertical weekly spreads and not horizontal weekly spreads. And it's been that way for over 15 years, so looks like that will not be changing anytime soon. For each day, you have a full column with a timeline notation on the left. It's 24-hour military time starting from 5 a.m. in the morning, ending with 5 a.m. the next day. And the top of every day has a blank space for anything you'd like. You could do a word of the day, target of the day. You could use washi tape and do washi tape decoration on the top. Lots of possibilities. And the rest of the daily column is filled with grid space for to-do lists, scheduling, time blocking, etc. You get a little mini calendar in the top left corner here of the current month with the corresponding week of the spread encircled in red. Then you have some space here to the left to write any lists, notes, add doodles, decor, and so forth. The weekly spreads end with the last week of December of your planner year, so no bonus weekly spreads in this section. Okay, after the weekly spreads, you get 2 blank grid pages. On the top left, underneath here, it says turning the page to a new year, with a mini calendar of the December before your planner year starts in the bottom left corner, and then January of your planner year in the far right corner. I've seen this section used as a yearly planning section, vision board, letter to self, end of year review notes, etc., but you could literally use it for anything or even just ignore it. Here you can see I tried to use it as kind of a memory collage art board, but I didn't keep it up. But I do have good memories making this, though. It's actually kind of nostalgic to look at. Okay, next we have the daily pages. These are dated daily pages for every day of the year. Each month starts with a blank no grid page with the name and number of the month in the top left. You'll also notice that the daily pages have a theme color. Each month has its own color. For example, October is a plum purple, November is a nice pine green, and December is a cheery, happy holiday red. I'll put a quick reference list on the screen right now of all the monthly colors. I'll try to match them as closely as possible as they appear in the planner, but here you go. And you'll notice that the grid of the daily pages is also in the theme color of the month. And of course, it's the same 3.7 millimeter grid throughout the planner. Now, if you're like me and you like color and changing up your environment, the different colored months are fun. Some people don't like it though, and some people just ignore it, but it is a unique feature of Hobonichi planners that is not found in other planners of this style. Now, let's take a closer look at the daily page. You've got the month and the day, the top left of each page, alongside a section of 5 checkboxes on the top right of each page. You have what Hobonichi calls the secret line, about 1/3 of the width, running from the top section to a little over halfway down the page, I'd say. This secret line, which is not so secret, sort of separates the top half of the daily page into 2 different sections. But the secret line is kind of faint. I mean, it's definitely a line. You can see it. But it's not super dark, so you could ignore it if you chose to. On the left side, you have a 24-hour military timeline, starting at 4 a.m. in the morning, going to 4 a.m. the next day. So a lot of people tend to use like this section right here as a daily scheduling, time blocking area. But again, it's super customizable to whatever you want to use it for. On the bottom of every daily page, on the right side, there's a small mini calendar of the current month with the 2 days of your current spread encircled. On the bottom of every daily page, there's also a quote. On the left daily pages is the actual quote, and on the right side, you'll find the corresponding author of that quote and where the quote is from. Some people like the quotes, others don't, because it takes up like this much space that could be used from a writing space. Some people like me just ignore the quotes, or you could cover them up with really, thick washi tape. So that's like decor space. Hobonichi does not have a version of the planner with no quotes. The quotes are kind of a trademark of all Hobonichi planners because, as I understand it, the company actually started as an online blog/magazine. Okay, moving on. At the end of the daily pages section, you get a short notes section made up of 6 full pages of blank grid paper for whatever you want to use it for. Then after that, you get some bonus spreads. You get a schedule chart that you can use for classes, weekly chores, or lists. You get a graph spread you can use to track anything you'd like. You get a favorites or ratings page that you can rate movies, books, music, and restaurants, etc. Then you have 2 pages for My 100 list, where you can write down 100 items of whatever you choose. It's 25 items per column. And for each line, there's a little checkbox to the right. Here's a page of sample symbols or icons, which is fun if you want to learn how to doodle. And then you get a page of tips on keeping a diary or journal. And I actually have found these tips kind of useful, so good read if you haven't read these before. And then you get the Oodles of Noodles page, which gives you information on all sorts of Japanese noodles. It's kind of super random, but fun. Then a Words to Remember page. Then you get a 365 days checkoff list, a Hobonichi Techo resource page where you can download more spreads, get more ideas for journaling and writing. And you get a gifts spread where you can keep track of gifts you've given or have received, an addresses page for important contact info, and then finally, a personal notes page where you can put your name, address, and contact info in case your planner gets misplaced, as well as more Hobonichi links. Finally, you have the last cover page with the unique serial number of your planner printed in the bottom right corner. And that is where the planner ends. Okay, so that was the full flip through. I hope this video was helpful in giving you a better idea of what exactly is in the Hobonichi Cousin if you're considering it for your next planner. But if you're not sure if this is the right planner for you, stay tuned for this next video where I'll be sharing my personal review and experience with it and tips on how you can tell if the Hobonichi Cousin would be the right fit for you. I highly recommend watching this next video before doing any purchasing. And if you'd like to see more planner content like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Feel free to shop my desk also with the links below. I am a growing channel, so I do appreciate the support. Feel free to leave any comments or questions down below. Otherwise, thank you so much for hanging out and watching. And until next time, peace be with you.